into the lab. It will allow scientists to test waters for Pfiesteria. The lab includes 14 aquariums.
One day of gambling hungry customers and managers of the Cherokee Casino are trying to come up for air. The casino was swamped with people for its grand opening yesterday and had to close its doors at midnight. About 300 of the 1,800 machines broke down, and managers found they weren't quite prepared for the day after all. The casino reopened at noon today, and workers limited the number of people let in at one time.
Well, coming up, a man who used to tackle NFL quarterback shows us how he uses that experience to tackle crime.
And most people call this lap running. Find out why these youngsters call it a turkey trot.
Are you ready for the cold air? We have the frigid forecast coming up next.
Only Keenan gives you next week's news tonight.
First Lady Hillary Clinton will try to lighten up her image by showing off her new ability to shoot milk out of her nose.
On the next Keenan, Family Matters' Darius McCrary and fired up Sharon Lawrence. The Keenan Ivory Weigh-In Show.
Tonight at 11 on Fox 22.
Maybe I'm crazy, but when we introduced 1-800-BELL-SOUTH, I took it upon myself to spread the word.
You might want to call your mom and dad.
Oh! I mean, with this one number, people could now use Bell South to charge calls all over the world and bill it to their calling card, their credit card, or collect. With this one number, our customers have a ton more ways to stay in touch, and darn it, I wanted them to know it.
Think I overdid it?
Well, that tattoo's a little much.
The new Nissan Altima GXE has more horsepower than a Camry LE. It comes with a standard CD player, unlike the Camry. And it's a whole $2,100 less than the Camry. But perhaps the best reason for buying the new Altima? It's not another Camry. The new Nissan Altima.
This is Imagine TV.
Welcome to Invest for Success, where this week's hot tip is the 98 Mercury Mountaineer. Now, when you lease Mountaineer, Ford Credit will pay your first month's payment, a true buyer's market. Mountaineer gives you the most powerful standard V8 in its class and plenty of room for your gear. And with no first payment to make, Mountaineer is a very smart place to put your money. But like any great investment, timing is everything, so see your Mercury dealer now.
Till next time, imagine yourself in a Mercury.
What if I told you there's a brand of peanut butter out there that actually beat Jif in taste test? Or a pepperoni pizza that buried Tombstone? How about a chip that equals Ruffles? Then what if I told you they all cost less than the brands they beat? A lot less. Well, you'd probably want to know where you could get them, right? Well, I'll tell you. They're the Harris Teeter brand. The store brand is the best brand in the store.
Why is a detective from another network tracking down space aliens on Fox? Because it's the only place he can. An all-new X-Files, Sunday at 9, 8 Central.
Catch Steve Zwinkowski's weather forecast every morning on G105. Tonight's weather is brought to you in part by Walmart.
Welcome back. How much time do I have, by the way? Okay. 8 minutes. Very good. Here's your forecast for tomorrow. I'll take my time. I'll say everything twice. Partly cloudy tomorrow. Winds will be out of the west at 5 to 15. We're looking for a high near 53. So a lot more sunshine than you saw today. A little warmer. It's going to get rather breezy tomorrow evening as we'll see a little bit of a frontal system pass just to our north. Temperatures throughout the region today, 62 the warm spot, Wilmington, Bowling Green, the cool spot, 36. Once again, we had that wedge of colder air dammed up against the mountains of North Carolina, so we were cool at 47, whereas they were just a couple of degrees warmer up in the mountains. Asheville saw 50 degrees. We see that every now and then when we have cold, dense, damp air, and it's a shallow layer of air, so the cold air never makes it up into the mountains. It just sits over top of us, and so it was warmer up in Asheville once again today. High temperatures are throughout the area. Fort Bragg 50, Goldsboro 55, Greensboro a full 10 degrees cooler at 45 degrees. The 47 for the official high temperature today, which is, by the way, our current temperature, is a good 15 degrees below a typical daytime high. That's how much colder it is than normal for this time of year. Right now, the temperature is 45. Oh, it went up, went down 2 degrees. The last hour is at 47. Dew point's at 43. We do have a full moon trying to poke out through some of those clouds, and we have seen some clearing. We expected to see a little bit of clearing late this afternoon. It didn't happen. I was off by about 3-4 hours on the clearing, and so we didn't see any sunshine, and we didn't get to warm up to the 50s at all today. It stayed in the 40s for the most part. The barometer is on the rise. The drier air is moving on through. Remember, the water vapor loop shows you the drier air in the darkest, deepest colors, so you can see this dry air just poking into North Carolina, and we're going to notice that dry air in the next couple of days as temperatures really plummet. Infrared satellite picture showing us the moisture over the central portion of the nation, and this little system here is going to go just to our north, and as it does, it will drag a little bit of cloudiness through us late tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. Closer view on the infrared satellite picture shows we had plenty of clouds today, but then some clearing. At about sunset this evening, we start to see some clearing, and we're starting to see a little bit of hazy moonshine out there right now. Snowfinder radar is showing virtually nothing going on. The rains and the snow showers have moved well to our north. There's a little bit of activity with that spoke of energy that I spoke of. Moving through Kentucky right now, a little bit of snow showers with that. Here's the leading edge of the colder air. It's 10 degrees right now at Denver. Thank goodness for them, there's no wind. There are no winds reported right there, so they don't have to deal with the wind chill. This is the air that's headed our way for Sunday night, Monday, and on into Tuesday. Partly sunny at the beaches tomorrow. Winds will be out of the northwest and howling, but then they'll start to calm down a little bit. Seas will be choppy at 5 feet in the morning, but then 3 feet in the afternoon. Next 3 days at the beaches shows it starts to plummet, the temperatures that is, as we head on into Monday with a low of 24 on Monday, 19 the low for the temperature at Asheville on Monday, with dry conditions expected throughout. Mostly cloudy tonight for us, lows near 43 degrees. If you're up early tomorrow morning, mostly cloudy to partly cloudy with temperatures in the 40s, but it will be dry. And then the rest of the day tomorrow, we're going to call it partly cloudy, a little bit of a breeze from the west. Could be gusty at times in the afternoon and evening. Look for a high near 53. Here's the flying 5-day forecast. No raindrops on that baby, but 23 for a low on Monday, 26 for a low on Tuesday, and Sunday night into Monday morning, we'll have a good 12 hours of below freezing weather. 12 hours of below freezing temperatures, which is going to cause some problems for a lot of folks who aren't prepared.
So, how did you say plummet? You said it with such enthusiasm and energy.
Plummet!
That's right. We get that message. It's going to be cold. Thanks, Steve.
Hey, what's happening in sports?
Well, thank goodness we can go indoors pretty soon and play basketball, because there's some good hooping going on also. Hey, here's what's going on, and it's all going on. It's a busy Friday night, the first night of the regular season for the Carolina Tar Heels and their new coach on the basketball floor. Another top-notch Carolina team goes to work in the postseason tomorrow. The Tar Heel women's team is #1 in soccer. How much longer can they keep it up? Outside tonight, the first round of the high school football playoffs underway. We're loaded, and we're coming back to show you what we have in just a little bit. We had the posse running all over the triangle and then some tonight.
Oh, this is exciting.
Yeah, all right. Just stick around.
Are you like the posse's leader?
Yeah, I'm like the guy that sits back here where it's warm and tells them what to do. They do the work.
Oh, there's more news coming up next. New business in the Triangle will tempt your taste buds.
And Wake County's top crime fighter shows us how his NFL days helped him on the job. Plus,
he's a dog with a nose for crime. Find out how he's helping fire investigators coming up.
Let's take a look. Doc, every fall it's the same old thing. It hurts here when I do this, and it hurts here when I go like this. And when I do this, it hurts. And it really hurts when I do this.
Then don't do that. The Toro Super Blower Vac. You can't buy a more powerful handheld blower, gas or electric. Toro, when you want it done right.
Plymouth Neon.
Harold.
Plymouth Breeze.
Sit.
Honey, that was a Plymouth Voyager. Plymouth Prowler.
Harold! He'll never learn.
If you see news happening, call the Fox 22 News Hotline anytime. 1-800-84-FOX-22.
The grand opening celebration continues at Sir Walter Chevrolet. Now with more than twice their usual allotment of cars, thanks to Chevrolet, you can find the car, truck, or van that you want, even the all-new Chevy Malibu, today at Sir Walter Chevrolet. Let me ask you a question. And be honest about this. Have you ever bought a brand new Chevrolet with 2.9 financing? Well, if you haven't, you need to come to Sir Walter today.
You'll call it your window of opportunity. And there's one thing that's bound to attract a crowd. Festive decorations? Maybe. Pretty lights? Whoa. How about saving money? It's the Chevy Make Your Money Count year-end event where you can get low 2.9 APR financing or great cashback savings on a huge selection of Chevy cars and trucks. So don't forget, make your money count now at your Chevy dealer and save big.
2.9% financing ends soon, so see your Carolina Chevy dealer today.
We'll call it the day after in Durham.
This is the day after Durham city leaders launched their aggressive new plan to combat crime in that city. Fox 22's Rebecca Mesa joins us now live from the newsroom with more.
Bob, yesterday the city laid out what it plans to do. So today what we did was we talked to the people who are expected to carry out part of that plan.
To be face to face with your worst nightmare can really make for an interesting evening.
It's something Corporal Allen faces every day, danger. But this Durham police officer says it's getting worse, from home invasions to drugs to domestic violence. He says the number of calls he gets has doubled in the past few years.
This city seems like it never sleeps. It's almost like a Washington, D.C. or New York City.
Now Durham police officers are getting a little help from the city. Durham's mayor and manager unveiled a plan to fight crime yesterday. It'll mean more officers on the streets, something Corporal Allen believes is desperately needed.
All we're capable of doing is going from call to call. To give us more manpower out here to do the job is definitely going to help us.
But Corporal Allen believes video cameras will be one of the most important tools the city can put in patrol cars.
What it does is it takes the general citizens, the judges, the lawyers, it takes those people and it puts them in the passenger seat of the patrol vehicle.
Better technology, brighter streets, more manpower, and a plan to get citizens more involved with the police. A message from the city Corporal Allen likes to see.
I love what I'm doing. I love being out here helping try to make my home a better place to live, something that I can remember, trying to get it back to where I remember it used to be.
And Corporal Allen hopes his dream will be realized through this new plan. Bob?
Thank you. Well, there are a lot of packages being mailed, but you may be surprised at what's in some of them. The Charlotte Division of the U.S. Postal Inspection Service has launched an operation to curtail the trafficking of drugs through the mail. This year alone, over $73,000 in cash and hard drugs worth $800,000 have been confiscated and kept off Charlotte streets. The murders of 4 Americans in Pakistan does not sway a jury in Virginia.
Today, the jury recommended the death penalty to the Pakistani man convicted of killing 2 CIA officers. Covering the nation tonight, the jurors have been sequestered since Wednesday, so they could not see reports of the murders. A Pakistani group claimed responsibility for the killings and said it was in response to the jury's conviction of Mir Mal Qazi. The group also said that more violence would follow if Qazi was sentenced to death.
Au pair Louise Woodward is free for another day. The prosecution did not file for an appeal today. The appeal of the judge's sentencing decision was expected to be filed this week. The Boston Globe published a letter in support of the baby's parents. It was signed by 50 people and said the parents of the dead baby are victims of injustice. The child's mother told another newspaper that she wants a personal explanation from the judge.
In Seattle, a teacher who pleaded guilty to child rape after having a baby with one of her 6th graders is sentenced. Mary Kay Latorno was married and a mother of 4 when she began a sexual relationship with the little boy. She was sentenced to 6 months in jail, including the 100 days she's already served. Latorno will also undergo 3 years of treatment.
A woman who claims she had a 12-year relationship with President Clinton contributes to the Paula Jones sexual harassment suit. Jennifer Flowers delivered a sworn statement today in Texas. Lawyers for Jones are trying to prove that Mr. Clinton has shown a set behavior pattern. Jones claims President Clinton propositioned her while he was governor of Arkansas. The trial will begin in May.
Fire investigators in Chapel Hill are still trying to figure out who set a series of suspicious fires. There have been 7 arson fires in the last 2 months, including 5 in one night early last month. Firefighters say the arsonist seems to target dumpsters filled with cardboard. Fire Marshal Larry Johnson says there's a big hurdle: few clues.
Usually if someone lights a fire with a match, and if they just ignite the readily available material, there are no clues left. The best clues are if someone actually detects someone starting those fires.
Chief Johnson says they need the public's help in solving the case. If you have any information, you can call the Chapel Hill Fire Department at 968-2781. That's 968-2781. With increased arsons in the area, the State Bureau of Investigation needs more help with legwork.
And so they're getting four-legged help. As Fox 22's Greg Thomas shows us, 2 new canine officers on the force can uncover crucial leads in an arson investigation.
Meet Cassidy and Joel. You could say they're washouts from Seeing Eye Dog School, but their handlers prefer to call it a career change. Their only job is to sniff out flammable accelerants. Those are petroleum products that are used to start a fire. Today, Cassidy and Joel join 2 other dogs already on duty.
Over the past few years, we've used these dogs extensively throughout the state and worked a tremendous number of fires, and they've proven their value to us many times.
Show me. Each of these 4 cans has burnt material inside. One has an accelerant. Their training is based on what's called passive alert food reward.
In other words, when they find the odor of a flammable accelerant, they sit and look at the handler for food. The handler feeds the dog, and then we give them the command, show me. And the dog places his nose right on the spot where the odor is most concentrated.
Now, while this may look like a simple game of hide and seek, it's actually quite specialized training. Dogs go through it every single day, 7 days a week.
The only way she gets fed is by locating these substances, and that's why we go through these training exercises that you've seen here every single day. You know, they don't miss any meetings.
Investigators say these dogs can play a vital role in an arson case.
These dogs' noses obviously are more sensitive than a human nose, and they can search a large area in a very short amount of time and locate accelerant odors that we would not be able to locate otherwise.
It only takes about 9 weeks for the dogs to complete their initial training. After that, they typically work for at least 5 years. When they retire, they live out their days as house pets with their handlers. In Raleigh, Greg Thomas, Fox 22, 10 o'clock news.
And the reason these dogs didn't make it as Seeing Eye Dogs is that they're just too doggone friendly. Seeing Eye Dogs aren't supposed to socialize with people.
Really? Isn't
Yeah.
that interesting? I didn't
Amazing.
know that. Yeah.
When it comes to fighting crime in Wake County, one man has been at it for more than 20 years.
Yes, and in Conversations tonight, we take a look at this dedicated law enforcer who wears a sheriff's badge.
I don't think that there's anything more important than to protect your life and your property.
Enforcing the law has become John Baker's mission in life.
That's been my life. I grew up with it, and I felt that it was good enough for my dad, that it was good enough for me. And
A native of Raleigh, he grew up the son of the state's first African-American police officer. A father of 2 and husband to the same woman for more than 35 years, he takes pride in his family and its history.
And when I had to go out at night, wanted to see me putting the gun on and all the equipment. But that doesn't worry me because I know the master's watching over me.
A veteran of the sheriff's office for 20 years, he's seen many of the horrors of crime, but he says it's just one that he can't seem to accept. That's juvenile violence.
I am talking about major crimes, rape, murder, armed robbery. That disturbs me, and that leads me to believe and to know that somewhere along the line, we as parents have failed as far as disciplining our children.
And when the shortfalls of law and order become too much for this man who stands 6 feet 6 inches tall and weighs 275 pounds, he does one of 2 things.
I was brought up in that religious home, and when things get difficult here, you know, Andre, I don't mind closing the door and talking to the master.
Does it still fit?
We'll see.
Oh, almost.
Oh, no, I'm just a little tight.
Or he comes here to the basement of his home where memories of a previous life hang on the walls and decorate his private sanctum.
Obviously, here I am, number 74, and I think that was about my first year with the Rams.
And what about this picture down here?
My pride and joy. when I get frustrated with criminals, sometimes I come down and look at that picture. Anytime you're defensive end, your main objective is to get to the passer. Obviously, I got to him and tried to annihilate him, and that's what happened.
Is that what you try and do with criminals?
Yes, yes.
Do you miss football?
I do, but my mind stays occupied with my profession and trying to provide the citizens of Wake County with the very best.
Well, Sheriff Baker spent more than a decade in the NFL, and he encourages young people looking to play professional sports to put their education first. He says it's always nice to have something to rely on if things don't work out.
Way to go. Some Wake County students are proving they can be relied on. Students at Hodge Road Elementary were hard at work trying to raise money for families who may not be able to afford a Thanksgiving dinner. The Little Runners collected pledges for each lap they completed. Students say the turkey trot was tiring, but a whole lot of fun.
The people that get Thanksgiving, sometimes they don't even think about the people that don't get Thanksgiving. So I like to help out and let the people that don't get Thanksgiving get Thanksgiving.
Good for you. Last year, Hodge Elementary students collected more than $6,500. Now that helped 250 local families get a complete Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Isn't that great?
That really is. And up next, we'll show you how some lawmakers are trying to make it easier to fly on the cheap.
But you won't find any cheap seats at this theater. Some improvements movie lovers will love next on the Fox 22 10 o'clock news. When you see news happening, call Fox 22 News at 800-843-6922. That's 800-843-6922.
You know, I was into all that extreme stuff when I was your age. Just didn't have a fancy name for it. Because I never had a Subaru Outback Sport either.
Too bad, Uncle. This beauty's got a ton of cargo space. Full-time all-wheel drive, more horsepower than a RAV4. You never did that, I'll bet.
Sure we did. But what's the rope for?
Outback Sport, part of the Outback family from Subaru.
Get away from it all and enjoy a game of golf at Wildwood Green Golf Club. Established in 1986 and newly redesigned in 1996 by John LaFoy, the game of golf has never been better. Enjoy the new G2 bentgrass greens and a more challenging layout. 4 sets of tees, wider fairways, and a longer course offer a true test for golfers of any skill level. If you're looking for an unsurpassed golf experience, call 846-8376 for a prospective membership packet or tee times. Located in North Raleigh, off Strickland Road.
Chili's Ranch Hand Filet, a beautifully carved 8-ounce tenderloin, slow grilled to perfection and placed on awesome blossom strings, only at Chili's.
It's no secret, the best night on TV starts with the world's funniest. Hosted by James Brown, Sunday at 7/6 Central.
Why suffer with pain? Call Northridge Chiropractic today. Look for Northridge Chiropractic on the inside back cover of the phone book. Northridge Chiropractic with 3 locations in the Triangle.
Tonight's Focus on Health is brought to you by Northridge Chiropractic.
Are your babies as strong as they should be? There is a way you can check.
And women with varicose veins may want to get them checked out. They can lead to serious health problems. These stories and more as we focus on health tonight. Can your 4-month-old baby do a push-up? If the answer is no, his muscles are probably not as strong as they should be. When babies lie on their stomachs, they instinctively try to push themselves up. That strengthens neck, shoulder, and back muscles. But many babies are put to sleep on their backs to prevent sudden infant death syndrome. And experts say that practice should not be changed, but infants should be placed on their stomachs for a little while each day, beginning around 3 months. That will help them develop on schedule. Varicose veins are not just a cosmetic problem. They can be a health hazard. Varicose veins form in the large veins in the legs that return blood to the heart. When the valves in those veins fail, blood collects and stretches the veins. Left untreated, varicose veins can lead to painful inflammation, sores on the leg, even a fatal obstruction in the lungs. Varicose veins run in families, but you can postpone their appearance by exercising, avoiding prolonged sitting or standing, and elevating your legs whenever possible. A new vaccine for chickens may keep people from getting salmonella. A researcher at Washington University in St. Louis has developed a salmonella vaccine for chickens. The vaccine is first sprayed on newly hatched chicks. A second booster dose is added to the chicks' water when they're about 10 days old. Researchers say the vaccine gives the chicks lifetime immunity from salmonella bacteria. That immunity is passed on to eggs and offspring. Department of Agricultural approval of the vaccine is pending. Food critics around the world may be just a little jealous of the Triangle tonight. One of the most popular restaurants in the U.S. held a special ribbon-cutting ceremony. Ruth's Chris Steakhouse is set to open in Cary. The restaurant's founder is in town for the event. Ruth Fertel opened up the first one in New Orleans after she found herself broke, divorced, and the mother of 2 boys.
And I found a little ad in the classified section of our newspaper, and it said steakhouse for sale. And I mortgaged my home and bought it, and that was 32 years ago in 1965.
I tell you, this is the 61st restaurant for the chain. It's open to the public on Monday.
In tonight's business report, the Rialto is now sitting pretty. The Mackey season ends, and downtown Raleigh is ready to get down. Nightlife Challenge downtown Raleigh has another place to party. Jillian's, a rock and roll sports bar, opens in the Warehouse District on West Street, complete with billiards, ping pong, and volleyball in season. Finally, the Rialto, Raleigh's We're No Boring Chain movie house, gets rid of the seats you love to hate. The second-hand, off-kilter, worn-out seats are history as of today. No more sliding out of the seats when they reopen next week, as the theater goes top of the line with cup holders, thank you. On the same day that it reported a much wider loss than a year ago, Westinghouse confirmed that it's ready to sell its industrial operations. Next month, Westinghouse will change its name to CBS Corporation to be traded under the stock symbol CBS. Assets include the television and radio group, cable networks, and the CBS television network. Shares of America Online were up today. The internet is abuzz with speculation AOL might be looking to buy a company, flush with about $700 million in cash. However, those who follow AOL more closely on Wall Street say the company needs to focus on paying down debt. Wilson's 1997 tobacco market drew to a close today with record sales totals. The 108th Wilson market, the state's largest, brought almost $163 million in sales of flue-cured tobacco. That's $7 million more than the previous high total in 1990. Sales for the entire Eastern Belt were up by almost 90 million more pounds over last year. Both the Hong Kong and Brazilian stock markets rebounded sharply today, helping to push U.S. stocks higher as the market posted a strong gain. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose almost 85 points, and advancing issues led decliners by 2 to 1. The Nasdaq Composite Index rose 26 points. The American Exchange Index up 5 3/4. Now here's a look at some stocks of local interest.
Well, many people are looking forward to traveling over the holidays and are looking for the best airfare. An Ohio congressman wants to help you and is endorsing a program called The Truth in Airfares. It exposes what Consumer Reports calls skyway robbery. He says the airlines aren't helping you find the lowest rate.
The airlines will never tell you what the lowest price is available because their job is to sell the tickets at the highest price.
Although the way the airlines operate, it's hard for consumers to know if they are getting a good deal. Sometimes the people next to you on a flight may have paid half the price you paid for a ticket, or twice as much.
Well, soon North Carolinians may be able to buy Major League Baseball tickets here in our home state. The Minnesota Twins baseball team is getting closer to moving to North Carolina. Minnesota State House rejected a proposal for the new stadium to keep the team there. Owner Carl Pohlad says he has no choice but to start negotiations with North Carolina businessman Don Beaver. Minnesota's legislature has until the end of this month to come up with another stadium deal, but chances are very, very slim.
Carl Pohlad's an old buddy of yours.
I met the man once. He's the president of one of the biggest banks up there. If he loses the Twins up there, he's not going to be very popular, neither is his bank, I bet you.
No, it doesn't sound like it's a very happy time right now up there. Hey, well, we got a bunch going on. Doris is going to love it tonight. Right. Mike Solarte likes to call this AD, Life After Dean, and it keeps Doris on the edge of the seat, I'm sure. It begins tonight in Chapel Hill. The Heels under Bill Guthridge hooping it up for the first time in the regular season. Sports coming up next.
To suggest a story or comment on the news, contact us online. Our email address is fox22news@mindspring.com.
Introducing the all-new 98 Isuzu Rodeo. Motor Trend magazine calls Rodeo a solid package. The 98 Rodeo, a must-drive raves four-wheeler magazine. Open Road magazine, brands Rodeo, strong and silent. The 98 Isuzu Rodeo has more of everything you'd expect from a sport utility. And then it goes farther. The 98 Isuzu Rodeo from your Carolina Isuzu dealers.
I didn't think about going to Lowe's for Mike's gift, but then I got his list.
Well, we do carry more tools than anyone.
Ed keeps borrowing my drill. I think I'm going to do something nice.
So you're giving him a new drill?
No, the new drill's for me.
Yeah, something for that handyman.
Yeah, do you think Dad'll like this saw?
Sure, I would.
Great price.
Why do you think we're called Lowe's?
Sure could use this sander.
I've already got your gift, honey.
When it comes to holiday gifts, Lowe's knows.
Only New York Carpet World could do it. But 1 week wasn't enough. 4 million yards of excess carpet must be sold off, cleared out, disposed of now. We're taking price cuts of 32 to 52% more off our regular sales price to do it. Truck after truck, roll after roll, carpet after carpet. Now save up to 52% more. Plus financing's free till '99 with no money down. 4 million yards of carpet at the greatest savings ever. Through Saturday at New York Carpet World.
You'll call it your window of opportunity. And there's one thing that's bound to attract a crowd. Festive decorations? Maybe. Pretty lights? Whoa. How about saving money? It's the Chevy Make Your Money Count year-end event where you can get low 2.9 APR financing or great cashback savings on a huge selection of Chevy cars and trucks. So don't forget, make your money count now at your Chevy dealer and save big.
2.9% financing ends soon, so see your Carolina Chevy dealer today.
The 5-year contract for Carolina's new head coach, Bill Guthridge, has received final approval. He's a keeper, and tonight he's coaching the Tar Heels in their first regular season game of the year. Mike Solarte there to see the Heels eat up Middle Tennessee State. Shamon Williams leads the scoring with 17. And look at this. How about Mokhtar Jai hitting a 3? He scores 10. And what do you expect from Vince Carter? Nothing less than spectacular. Vince scores 15, UNC 84, Middle Tennessee State 56. First game for Maryland, the Terps are playing South Carolina. 7th-ranked South Carolina in trouble with time running out in overtime. Here we go. Melvin Watson pulling up for a 3. It's a 2-point lead. The Gamecocks add 2 more for a 76-72 victory at Minneapolis. Go to the scores, 99-73 Kansas. Clemson gets a win. NBA hoops, Boston over Toronto. Indiana's a winner. Denver can't do it at Orlando. Atlanta just barely over Sacramento, staying undefeated. In overtime right now, all tied up at Houston, 91 apiece. And Chicago a winner by 13 over Charlotte. A full Saturday of college football tomorrow. Here is the list of what you're going to be seeing. Be sure to tune in for Mike Solarte's show tomorrow night. You're going to see Virginia playing NC State at noon, Georgia Tech at Duke at 1:30, North Carolina at Clemson at 3:30. Mike will have all the highlights. The Carolina Panthers have nary a prayer this Sunday. They're at San Francisco against the Niners, a team they've dominated in the past, but they got to pull last week's loss out, get it out of their mind.
The mood is good. I think everybody are professionals, and they can put it behind them and go on and try and just try and come back and play well this week. That's all you can really do.
The Winston Cuppers get in some practice in Atlanta this afternoon, and the speeds hit better than 195 miles an hour. That's the quickest this year. But when it's time to qualify, this is the scene. Jeff Gordon and the fellas will have to race for the starting order tomorrow. There's too much rain today. The Raleigh Ice Caps are in town for a hockey game with Charlotte. Hockey boy Mike Solarte at Dorton Arena along with his buddy Pat Mellon. Second period, the Ice Caps get a good bounce, and Stacy Ryan bangs in the loose puck, 2-1 Caps. Charlotte going to be taking a 3-2 lead until Raleigh's Tony Bergen fires in the slapper, tying things at 3. Raleigh goes on to win it 5-4 over the Checkers. In the National Hockey League, 3-1 the Rangers get Pittsburgh. Jersey is a winner. The Islanders 4-1 over Tampa Bay, and Philadelphia 5-2 over Florida. Tomorrow at 1 o'clock, the Carolina women's soccer team opens the NCAA playoffs with a game in Chapel Hill against Wake Forest. The Heels are #1 in the nation and expected to win again, but it'll never be ho-hum for any of them, or well, maybe for the goalie. Darren Triplett explains.
To a lot of teams, playing in the NCAA tournament is a big deal. To Anson Dorrance's North Carolina Tar Heels, being there is a given, and winning it is expected. The Carolina dynasty just keeps rolling. The Tar Heels are after their 14th title in 16 years. They enter the tournament without a loss after playing the toughest schedule in the country.
We just find the best teams we can in the country and find out where they want to play us, and we travel there and play them. And that gives our team a wonderful sort of combat readiness. I mean, there aren't too many teams out there that are top quality that we haven't played already.
To see how good this Carolina team is, all you have to do is look at the goalies. The Tar Heels are so dominant that playing the position is almost boring.
At times it can be because you're standing there, maybe you might get one shot a game, one pass back. I think the hardest thing is that so many other teams and people overlook the fact that Carolina's goalkeeper's not that good. They're like, she never faces any shots or anything like that. I think the thing is that the shots we do face, me and Gretchen, is that we come up big with them.
Carolina matches up with Wake Forest in the first round. The Tar Heels shut out the Demon Deacons during the regular season. They outshot Wake 39-1. In Chapel Hill, Darren Triplett, Fox 22 Sports.
All right, are you ready? The state football playoffs are on, and the Double Deuce Army is out. At Smithfield Selma, the unbeaten Spartans hosting Fred Ford High from Newton with a 6-5 record. Darren Triplett, the Tripsler, at the game. Looks like a TD for B.J. Walton of Ford, but it's a fumble. Kenny Barfield is on it for Triple S. Next play, Smithfield. Brian Freeman caught behind the line for a safety. 16 seed Ford High leading #1 seed Smithfield Selma 2-zip. Second quarter, Ford scores again. It's a DeCarlos Hoover run, counts for 6, 9-0 Ford leads. The Spartans get on the board at last with a Brian Freeman 15-yard run, but they still trail 9-6. They manage to rally. They win the game 36-21 over Ford. At Bunn, the 7-3 Wildcats hosting 7-4 Union. The Alamander is there. This is Brian Alston running for Bunn. He's going to break a couple of tackles, slip on down the field for the touchdown. Bunn wins it 32-15. A Wake County rematch at Millbrook. The Wildcats hosting Wake Forest Rollsville, a team they beat 8 weeks ago. Once again, the Alamander for the highlights. That's Sean Young scoring the touchdown. Millbrook rolls on 46-21. The state, here we go, Rocky Mount. Rocky Mount is at Cary High to play the Imps, and the Cary State champion girls cross country team is there to be seen at the half. Imps are running well in this one. Roger Lawrence hits Tommy Horn with a little dump-off pass, and Horn does some nice running to get the Imps to the Rocky Mount 13-yard line. Cary tacks on a 37-yard field goal as Tommy Olson splits the uprights. Cary leads 6-zip at half. They're going to go on to win it 9-7 in a squeaker. A few more scores to give to you. 49-21, Rose eliminates Sanderson from the tournament, and Hertford County 41-7 over East Chapel Hill. Clinton and Garner, their game's postponed. They're going to play them later on because it was a little too soggy.
So that's all you got?
Sorry. It was enough for Doris, I'll bet.
Yeah, it was.
She just wants some more Carolina highlights.
You know, we're going to have Doris on the show one
Equal
night.
time,
Yeah,
yeah.
equal time.
She emails, plays into them, you know.
Does she?
Coach Smith never
I
used
was
them.
wondering
She's
why
hoping
it looked so
Guthridge will.
intelligent. Stay right where you are. See's up next with the final forecast.
And you got to check out this story simply for the cute factor. Don't go away. The Fox 22 10 o'clock news will be right back.
Tonight's Panther Report has been brought to you by PageNet.
This is for Bob in Scranton. Bob, your pipes burst. Yesterday. Sorry. Mom, how do you get glue out of baby's hair? This is...
If you don't have PageNet,
completely blank.
you don't know what you're missing.
Sell, buy. But wait to talk to me. There's no name. Everybody should make some phone calls.
That's why more people trust PageNet to deliver their messages than any paging company in the world.
I've got scurny kind of...
PageNet. In touch.
And ingenious. Look, just read this one yourself.
muscle car lives. The new Trans Am by Pontiac.
Idea. We'd like Best Buy to help us find a great family gift.
Hello. Hey, I'm the Idea Box. I'm here to help. Tell me again what you're looking for.
Value, quality, something fun.
You gotta think fun, affordable. Boy, that's the tough one. I feel like I've known you forever. Okay? Know what you want? I've got it. The perfect family gift. Ta-da!
Oh, wow.
Great family gifts at Best Buy. Now that's a great idea.
You'll call it your window of opportunity. And there's one thing that's bound to attract a crowd. Festive decorations? Maybe. Pretty lights? Whoa. How about saving money? It's the Chevy Make Your Money Count year-end event where you can get low 2.9 APR financing or great cashback savings on a huge selection of Chevy cars and trucks. So don't forget, make your money count now at your Chevy dealer and save big.
2.9% financing ends soon, so see your Carolina Chevy dealer today.
Yeah, call us crazy. Sweepstakes. No, I'm not crazy. Watch Frasier Monday through Wednesdays at 7. Be the 22nd caller when you see the Call Us Crazy symbol, and you win. Then listen to me, Travis Moore, on 94.7 WQDR for what time the symbol will appear. If only I had a radio. On Thursdays and Fridays, you can win by going to any Kelly's location and register. It's the Frasier Call Us Crazy Sweepstakes. They're giving away TVs. Somebody get me out of here. I want to play.
So much to talk about, so little time. So here's your forecast for tonight. Overnight tonight, we have partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies. Lows near 43. A little bit of moonshine trying to peek out there. It's the beaver moon, by the way.
What's
partly cloudy, that's what they call it. Temperatures in the 40s tomorrow morning. Then the rest of the day tomorrow, I don't make this stuff up. Partly cloudy, winds from the west and a high of 53 degrees. 5-day forecast shows cold weather, folks. Monday and Tuesday morning, temperatures in the 20s for several hours.
Right.
It's what the Farmer's Almanac says. It's the beaver moon.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You
Thanks,
always
Steve.
tease us. Yes, have a good weekend. And the Brookville Zoo in Illinois has a new addition.
And today was her first public appearance. The baby Siberian tiger weighs about 10 pounds, but will weigh about 500 pounds when she's fully grown. There are only about 200 to 400 Siberian tigers in the wild. An additional 350 live in zoos around the world. This new furry baby doesn't have a name yet.
Oh, that's not a human baby, actually. It's visitors getting its first peek at a rare albino cub in Buenos Aires. The white baby lion has black ears but was born from two normal parents. The mama lion is very protective. She made it clear she thinks her cubs are the cat's meow.
Hey, don't forget Raleigh's Sharon Lawrence guest stars next with Keenan.
Yes, enjoy your weekend. We'll see you Monday. Stay warm.